guys. Just doing a quick video for you on programming and how to organise your weekly split. This being more specifically towards sort of like strength, hypertrophy and aerobic fitness. So it really covers the whole spectrum of what you're looking for when you're looking for sort of like performance results from your gym training. So here goes. I've got my board here. I've got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Now, a lot of people will program to days of the week. Another way you can do it, it's not just days of the week, but you can just do it day by day. So day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, to whatever cycle you want to work with. All you got to remember is that your body doesn't know what day of the week it is. It just knows that it needs rest from certain stimuluses of training. So, if you haven't been training for a while, which likely you might not have because of the lockdown, and your motivation has been shit, I would recommend little and often to build habit and get used to something. So, for example, the first couple of weeks of now I'm very regimented, but even this lockdown got me pretty down in the dumps. So for the first couple of weeks, I was literally just doing push-ups. All right, I was doing that all the way across. Mainly because if I didn't do something, I was going to go insane, and it's easy for me to do push-ups. I didn't find that very stressful, and I felt like I was getting something from it, whereas squats and deadlifts I just wasn't in the mood for. And I also knew that just doing push-ups I weren't going to need to do loads of upper back work for loads of shoulder stabilisation, which is what you're going to need for squats, deadlifts and heavy bench presses. So that's what I did the first 2 weeks of lockdown. Then I started moving on to a more kind of like 6-7 day week routine where I was aiming, I say aiming, inverted commas, really depended on how much energy I had, aiming to do, I didn't have a bench at the time, so it was floor press, Monday, that was my focus, then it was squat Tuesday, and then it was deadlift Wednesday, and then I'd just repeat. Okay, so I've then got 24, 48, 72 hours before I then do floor press again, 72 hours before I squat again, 72 hours before I deadlift again. Now, I've got to be a little bit careful with these two because they both are hip dominant. Alright, so that means you're using the same muscle groups for both exercises. Obviously, you've got a little bit more quad focus with this because you've got more knee bend and you've got more glute, ham and adductor focus on this one because it's the deadlift. But regardless, all the muscles are working with both lifts. So what you can often see in another training split is you'll see Monday upper lower, so you'll get bench press and you do, and maybe overhead accessories, however you want to write it, and then you got deadlift, squat and deadlift because they're both here, and then you might want to rest that day, / I would recommend cardio, or for a lot of people cardio, and then essentially just repeat again over to the Thursday, Friday, except what I'd recommend is if you want to, most powerlifters would probably keep bench press there, but strongmen might want to prioritise your overhead press there. You might want to swap those around or do a different type of press. You might want to do dumbbell press. You can mix it up, doesn't really matter as long as it's training the chest frequently, you're going to get good muscle development. The next one, Friday, you might want to prioritise your deadlifts first. So you can go heavy here, light here, for example, heavy here, and then light there on the squats. So straight away, you're doing each major compound twice a week, which is going to give your body a good reason to hold on to the muscle that you're working so hard to develop. So you're smashing your legs to pieces in this session on the Tuesday, then you got 24, 48, 72 hours for the muscles to recover and your CNS somewhat, to then smash your hips to pieces and your back. an interesting controversy on deadlifting it working the upper back across some professionals at the moment, but if you do enough of them you'll certainly feel it, that's for sure. So that's another way of doing it. So I'm just gonna rub this out at the top. I'm just gonna follow this on and start working from the top again. So then basically transition onto this one, because this starts getting too much. You start getting the training effect, which is great. You know, you want to get stronger, you want to start building muscle, but then the repeated day in, day out cortisol production, so you've got chronic stress then. You're not giving your stress hormone receptors a chance to chill out. It's no different to just taking the same drug over and over and over again. It becomes less responsive, so you need to take more. And then of course if we do more training we're just going to damage ourselves, just like if you take more drugs you'll probably die. So from there you start incorporating some rest days. So you might be in this phase for anywhere between 2 to 6 weeks. You could be flying, and then you'll do what happened to me recently. I just could not get out of bed for the life of me because I was so fatigued. So I took a few days to recover, where I didn't do much at all. I just fell back to doing those push-ups every day because it's easy for me, and I find it motivating and like I'm still getting something out of it. So I moved on to here, and then you can incorporate 2 to 3 rest/active recovery days, and this is going to be paramount for just your recovery, which is so important. You can only train as hard as you recover, and so the intensity of these sessions will start picking up because you're chilling out on this day, pick up there, chilling out on these days. And it doesn't necessarily need to be in this order. If you wanted to prioritise your legs, you could do those first, and do your bench the next day. But personally, my advice would be to get your upper press work stuff done first, and then your leg stuff afterwards, because the legs will take way more out of your bench press than your bench press will out of your legs. Okay, that is a fact. You can go and trial and error it as much as you like. Yeah. So it's ideal to do it that way around. If you can't, not the end of the world. Frequency and consistency is the most important thing, but getting this is a good pro tip for optimal results. So when I say cardio here, for strength and hypertrophy, you don't really want to be working for any more than about 20 to 30 mins, and that could be also intermittent, so that could be high intensity interval training, but at the same time be careful. You might only want to do the HIIT stuff on the Saturday, because then you got a day to chill out. This one, these what I would say steady state. Okay, so that allows your stress hormones to just chill the fuck out. Okay, so moving on from this is going to be great for a while because it's going to raise your intensity. But personally for me, in fact, you could stay on this for a while and continue to get good results as long as you're tracking your numbers. Essentially, any of these routines are going to be good as long as your numbers are increasing. Remember that, as long as your numbers are increasing, you're getting stronger, okay? And as long as you can manage the fatigue and you can carry on with life as normal. Then, the final form of what I like to do personally, so I'm just going to rub this out now. I'm going to carry on at the top. I will squat heavy Monday. I'll bench press paused, which is paused/light. Then I'll do cardio. So this is my kind of like hybrid plan. And then I'll do deadlift, paused/light. And then I'll do cardio again. So this is 20 minutes, this is 30, and this is a heavy bench press. This is a steady state recovery. This is high intensity, we could say. Then we do a light squat / paused, however you want to work it. And then you'll go for a heavy deadlift. And then you can do just some light / volume bench press, what I like to do. Personally, this is what's worked out for me recently. So this is what allows me to get the optimal amount of work done and allows me to train 7 days a week, which personally I feel much better doing. Being this heavy, I like to get in a lot of cardio to make sure I'm not getting out of breath when I'm walking up and down the stairs, and when I'm rocking and holding my son, I like to stay fit as well as strong. So although this will inevitably slow down my strength gains, to a certain extent it's going to get me fit. But at the same time, I also believe that you can only get as strong and as big as your heart will allow. Okay, so your heart and cardiovascular system is also going to be a limiting factor. All right, so again, 20 minutes there, 30 minutes there. That's steady state. This potentially steady state / high intensity, depending on how you're feeling. Okay, none of this has to be set in stone, but this is what I tend to personally fall on every time I get into my training. If I have a block where I stop training completely, like a holiday, or I get ill, I generally go through the phase of what I've just gone through. So I start with just maybe one exercise, then I filter onto a 6-day routine where I go press, squat, deadlift, press, squat, deadlift, until that's unachievable to recover from. And then I move on to something like upper, lower with lots of rest. And then that allows me to catch up on my cardio, which is 3 times a week. And then from there, when I feel fit enough, I could be in this phase for 8 weeks. And then what I find myself doing is this. And this I run through pretty consistently, and I recover really well. So they're my progressions for training splits. I hope you enjoyed that. My son's just woken up, so got to go now. If you like this video, please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and post some questions in the comment section, and hopefully I'll get back to you. Cheers.